Is that the latest model of Audi? It seems really expensive. How were you able to get your hands on it?
It is indeed the latest model of Audi.
But with our pay package, it almost seems impossible to have one. So, did you happen to win a lottery or apply for a loan?
It's nothing of that sort. I started investing a year ago and look what the returns gave me.
Well, I'm all ears about it.
I learned about this company called Waste Management Company through my cousin. Since then, I've been investing religiously in the company. And look where it got me today.
Well, stock market and all, isn't it like too risky?
There is always an element of risk present, but with this company, it is next to impossible. It's been having steady growth since the past 2 years now.
Well, I want such returns too. Please tell me more about it.
Let's meet for a cup of coffee later today and I'll let you know how it works.
Yes, sure.
Hello?
Did you even come across today's headlines? Do you have any idea how low the shares have steeped? And on your saying I've invested all of my money, and do you have any idea that I'm completely broke? Literal broke right
What?
now.
What? Really? Are you sure? Please tell me this is a joke. This has never happened before. There has to be some reason.
I wish it were a joke, but it isn't. And sadly, I'm broke, and now you only have to get me out of this situation.
Your Honor, among us we have the top officials of the Waste Management Company. CEO, Mr. Dean Buntrock.
Dean Buntrock, the founder, chairman of the board and CEO. He was the primary beneficiary of the fraud and set a culture of fraudulent accounting by setting high earnings targets and directed accounting changes to meet the targets and keep investors happy.
CAO, Thomas Ho.
Thomas C. Howe, the vice president, corporate controller and chief accounting officer. He was considered the principal technician of the fraud by the SEC. He created many one-time accounting transactions to meet the targeted earnings.
CFO, James E. Going.
James E. Koenig, the executive vice president and chief financial officer. He was the primary executioner of the fraud and covered the fraud up by misleading the company's audit committee and internal auditors.
And COO, Philip B. Rowney.
Philip B. Rooney, the president and chief operating officer. He was in charge of WM operations and dismissed accounting decisions that would have any negative impact on the company. He ensured that the write-offs company needed to take were not recorded.
It is none other than Mr. Dean Buntrock and his team who are the whole and soul behind the huge scandal. After thorough investigation of the company's financials, it has come into light that Mr. Dean and his team have been cooking up books of accounts consecutively for 5 years. Your Honor, I'd like to call upon Mr. Dean Buntrock to the stand. Would you like to justify as to why there was a sudden growth in the revenue from $10 million to $10 billion in just a span of 5 years?
I'm impressed with the steady growth in the company's finances, but what would make me more happy is double the amount of profits and minimal the expenses.
Well, I might have a few ways to increase our compensation. It might be a little risky, but there'll be guaranteed returns. Who's ready to take the plunge?
I am interested as long as it is higher compensation. Hard way, easy way does not matter. I just want to enjoy the profits.
Who wouldn't be interested in such a deal? I'm down too.
So the only way through this is to stagnate the profits or falsify the accounts and financial statements. The main idea should be to increase the profits whilst keeping in mind not to make the obvious mistakes while accounting. We can start by avoiding the depreciated expenses on the garbage trucks, hence it'll end up extending the useful life of the trucks, thereby making profits of the snag.
There are a few assets which do not have a resale value. We can make use of those assets by assigning salvage value to them. Now, salvage value is the worth of the asset after its depreciation. Doing this will allow the company to show the falsified addition in the asset account of the company, hereby increasing the assets that are owned by the company.
That will definitely work. We can also refrain from recording decrease in value of the landfills, thereby reducing the overall annual expenditure of the company. Proportionately, it'll add to the profits.
Yes, that sounds great. That'll make the financial statements look up to the mark. I can take care of it.
One more thing that we could do which would benefit us is to manipulate the reserves.
That's a great idea. The company can establish more environmental reserves in its documents than we actually hold to avoid recording unrated operating expenses.
Finally, the reserves of the company can be put to use. I also think capitalizing multiple assets of the company would add to the profits of the company.
I think this should be enough for now to increase the overall profit in the books of the company.
I'm quite impressed with the plan. I don't think there will be any hurdles to execute this as the auditor tends to share cause relationship with us. I am well versed with the auditing procedure. I don't think convincing author would be a problem.
Your Honor, no scandal can hit success without the role of an auditor. Hence, I would like to call upon Arthur Anderson, the auditor of Waste Management Company, to take the stand. We have been informed by an unknown source that you tend to share a cozy relationship with the company.
In spite of that being true, I would like to inform you that I was never a part of the plan.
Mr. Arthur Anderson, then tell me how was this possible with all your watch throughout the years?
Hey, Mr. Dean, I have something important to discuss with you.
Yes, Arthur, please go ahead.
Well, my team was going through your company's financials and we observed some errors, top level adjustments, and non GAAP practices in your financial statements. These could have a detrimental impact on your company's core operations.
Yes, Arthur, I'm aware of that. I also know that this could happen, this could lead us in big trouble. This is exactly where I need a favor from you all.
Mr. Dean, since you and your team have an experience in the auditing field, I hope you're aware that by involving in this malpractice will not only land your company into trouble, but my company also would have to pay for it.
Come on, Arthur, I'm sure it will not be a big deal if I paid additionally outside of the original agreement.
Sounds like a good offer, but I would like to warn you that you will have to fix some errors which will make it difficult for SEC to identify them.
I don't think that is required, Arthur. My team will take care of it. All you have to do is to provide unqualified audit opinion on the financial statement to the SEC and write up the accounting errors to conceal the fraud, and then we'll go ahead.
All right, Dean, then we have a deal.
Let us make happen together.
Your Honor, all the evidence is put right in front of you. The shareholders lost approximately $6 billion due to the reduction in the worth of the assets held by them. Please take the decision in the best interest of the shareholders. Your Honor, I would like to rest my case here.
After a thorough examination of the evidence and keeping in mind the interest of the shareholders and the general public, I hereby pronounce Arthur Anderson, the external auditor of the company, Dean Buntrock, the CEO of the company, CAO Thomas Howe, CFO James E. Coyne, COO Philip V. Rooney as guilty. The waste management company will be liable to pay $457 million collectively. Arthur Anderson will be fined to the tune of $7 million for their collusion or grave negligence. Whilst being fined with $31 million, the six top officials will additionally be barred from serving any public company as an officer or director. The court is adjourned.